We are live. Welcome, everyone. Austin here, next to my beautiful co-host, Miss Mandy Robinson. Welcome back, Mandy.
Thank you. Good to be back, my friend. So excited for this show. Well, I'm excited for them all, but this one is just going to be mind-blowing, and I'm just really, really excited to bring these guests on. We should skip everything else and just bring the guests on and do the other stuff at the end. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to have you back. We missed you last week.
Thank you. I
Michelle
appreciate
is
that.
already joining us. There's Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. Send lots of love to Michelle. She's just overcoming surgery, and lots of blessings. Wishing her well.
Yes, absolutely, Mandy. So I'm glad to have you back. It is September 15th. This is season 3, episode number 3. We are chugging along. We want you to get value out of today's show. I believe this is going to be, well, it is. It's a historic show because we are going to be diving into something that is cutting edge.
Off the charts. Off the charts. We think that some of the inventions throughout history have been off the charts at the time of their invention, and they have been. But with the way technology is today and the advancements, I mean, thinking about 1997 when I was first starting to learn to use a computer. Well, actually, I'd done a word processor when I was at the university in Aston with a professor. But trying to manage and learn a computer in 97, and I was rejecting it. There was no way I'm going to touch that stuff. And everyone was saying to me, well, you better get used to it because this is the future, right? And I think from that to what we're going to show people today or be introducing people to today, and that's like something off the ark. It's archaic, right? Because this is future technology, cutting edge, as you say. And I'm trying not to give it away here because I'm so excited.
Let's get into the show. Let's set the show up, and then we can get back to this exciting conversation about what we're going to dive into today and what it's going to mean for you.
Exactly.
The MeteVerse and how that's going to play into your life. So we're going to dive into that today. But
absolutely.
Let's set the show up, Mandy.
Let's roll this show. So we have a beautiful little ritual which we do to open every show, and we start with the Edison light bulb. No, we're going to start with the hourglass.
We start with getting into the present moment.
Okay, so you take that one then.
We set the show up as a reminder that life is happening right now. And this visual, I purchased this and then it became real for me. And as I watched it, I'm like, yeah, life is happening right now. And while the past is done, and we may have a moment in the past that we're like, man, and we play it back in our heads and we want to go back and maybe change it, but we can't. But we may spend time there. We might come out of this moment and be spending too much time here trying to change something. You may be like I was, hyper-focused to skip all this sand, and I just want to get to the mountaintop. I want to get to this grain of sand up here. I don't have time for all this other sand. And meanwhile, life is passing by. And this is a reminder not only to be present right now, because there's something here you're going to get. Lizzie, you popped in my mind today and you showed up. This is amazing. I'll get to that in a moment. So what we want to do is dial into right now. And as we dial into right now and we observe, we start to understand that we can set an intention into right now, just like the sand is flowing. It's like life is unfolding. But if I become intentional and it's like tilting the hourglass just a little bit, and I can start to have an influence on the moment as it unfolds. I am aware of it, and then I become intentional, and I can co-create with life to create the life of my dreams, to create the Flashpoint moment while enjoying life right now. So this hourglass has become a symbol of the new show called Power of Pure Presence. And what we do is we remind you to pause and breathe. Some of you need this right now. Pause.
Deep breath in.
And just breathe.
Breathe. Relax into the show. Pause and breathe.
Grab something today. All right. So there we go, Mandy. That's the hourglass.
Do we have anything on the other side? Because we had inspiration before. Or is it just pause and breathe?
It's pause and breathe. That's all we focus on right now.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Beautiful, beautiful. I love the color as well.
The other
Love the
side
color of the
is
sand.
empty to represent no content.
That's right.
Content,
No content. Present moment.
life. Be
Present
aware of
moment.
it.
Nothing
There
from the
is
past.
something on the other
nothing from the
side.
future.
It's actually no thing, but you get the point.
Yes.
Now I'm going into power of pure presence. All right. All right.
Time out, time out. We will have that on another day. But anyway, so now we're going to take the Thomason. Now I'm doing your trick. The Thomas Edison light bulb.
Yep.
And this is just beautiful. And this sets us up for one of our guests today. Before we start, I've got a couple of quotes here, and I'm just going to tie them into the light bulb. The first one was by Helen Keller. She said, "No pessimist ever discovered the secret of the stars or sailed in uncharted land or opened a new doorway for the human spirit." In other words, all these things happen when we step into the moment and embrace it all. Edison said this: we don't know a millionth of 1% about anything. Now, for somebody like Edison to say that, that is profound, because look how many thousands of ways it took him to create this light bulb. Hi, Michelle. So Edison's light bulb of the time was cutting edge technology of the day. Yet look at, like I said, look at the innovation and the thousands of different ways that it took him to succeed, even when, and we know he did have opposition to achieving this goal. It was leading edge. It was the frontier of electricity, which would allow the light bulb to happen, right? And what I love about this, even in the storms of struggle, because let's be honest here, Edison had storms of struggle, otherwise it wouldn't have taken him thousands of different ways to create the success or the opposition. Do we get out of our comfort zone and face the challenge or the storm head on? And I'm just bringing this in here because I talked about this on my show last night. Just like the buffalo do, they're one of the only creatures on the planet that do not turn their backs to the storm. They face head on right into the storms of winter. And if we use that as a metaphor for Edison, he faced the storms of opposition head on. He would not quit. He kept going until he succeeded. So my suggestion here is that we stop being afraid to get out of our comfort zone. Stop being afraid to get out of the comfort zone. Face the challenge, try the new things, get creative, and don't give up. And one of our guests, where this ties in, is such an amazing, incredible example of this, because today this guest is going to introduce us to MegaVerus. MegaVerus, which is cutting edge technology, paving the way for so many benefits for mankind on multiple platforms. So just like Edison bringing electricity, as it were, or the light bulb through electricity to us so that we could light our rooms, this guest with his cutting edge technology is lighting and paving the way for the next generation. Beautiful.
And this light bulb here is a replica. I was on site in Menlo Park.
Yeah.
Where this light bulb, this iteration of the light bulb was completed after 10,000 attempts. Edison said, I did not fail when asked, did you fail? How does it feel to fail 10,000 times? He said, I did not fail. I successfully created 10,000 ways in which the light bulb could not be created. And then lo, here we go. And this is a replica of that. And the thing I want to tie in here, Mandy, which is going to be relevant today, were there people at the time that were against electricity? Were there people at the time were afraid of the new frontier, this energy that could kill people, that was harnessing all this power that could be evil and dark? But progress took hold. Can you imagine today not flipping on a light, having a light? Can you imagine walking into the room and having to light candles? Can you imagine lighting oil lamps? Can you imagine not having electricity to run your computer? Well,
I'm going to pause you there because we literally can. I don't know about in the US, but in the winter here, we often get power cuts and we can be out for hours and days. And right now in South Africa, we have friends there, mutual friends there. They're on what they call offloading or shedding, or so, there's a term for it. But right now they have 6 hours of electricity, then they have 8 hours of no electricity, then they'll perhaps have 4 hours. So they're either in darkness, and if they've not prepared beforehand.
There you go.
Right. So yeah, exactly what you said.
There you go. So this has a lot of significance. And again, today it's being willing to pursue in the face of incredible, and that's why you got, like, it's flipping the script. I didn't fail. I'm successful every time.
Yep.
Imagine being successful every time. Well, you are. This is going to be in my new book, Flashpoint. I talk about this. I talk about looking at this differently. And this is going to be revolutionary for everybody. So thank you so much, Mandy. That was a beautiful.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Great perspective. Just amazing.
Yeah, so, it's amazing how each time we bring up the hourglass or the Edison light bulb, there's a never-ending flow of inspiration and metaphorical reference. We never seem to run out. Obviously meant to do this to inspire. So the last thing of this little ritual, we're going to go to the Liberty Bell. Ring that Liberty Bell. He has the muscles to do it. We've proved that over and over. So the Liberty Bell, for anyone on here, if you have something that you would like to say that you feel is inspiring or whatever it is, or you have a moment in here where something goes, oh my gosh, that's an aha moment, just put bell, type bell in the chat room. And as soon as our great master here sees that, he will ring that bell to acknowledge that moment. And there are going to be plenty. So Austin, I hope your muscles are good, because you're going to get using that bell.
We're not going to wait. We're not going to wait. We're going to use it right now, because we have Davey Williams is on here.
Welcome, Davey.
For our guest. Donna's a genius, a phenomenal human being. Jennifer is truly one of the greatest gifts to come into life as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
There we go. So we already got a bell rung here. So you see this, how this works? This is how this works. You share what you share, you keep forever. What you keep, you lose forever.
That's right.
That'll hit you. But the point is, put something in that you can share. So
be a part of this show, because this show is about you, the listener, not just us giving it to you. Be a part. Get engaged. Ask questions if you want to in the chat room there, and we'll get to as much as we can. Lizzie, my sister.
Yeah. So before we bring on Jennifer, I'm sitting this morning, and Lizzie pops in my mind.
She's on mine every day, believe it or not.
And I say to myself, I need to connect with Lizzie. And guess what?
She called you.
She is. I haven't thought about Lizzie in a while. Like, probably, I love Lizzie, but I'm just saying, like, you thought about her every day. I haven't thought about her. She popped in my mind today, and she shows up. How incredible is that? And that's why she typed in synchronization.
That's thought energy, right? Because we almost see each other every day on Instagram. So thought energy.
Amazing. All right, let's get into our guests. Enough of this. We want to get our guests on here, because
let's do it.
This is going to be an incredible show.
Let's do it.
Mandy, do you want to introduce our first guest, or would you like me? You know what? Let me introduce Jennifer, because I've already worked with her, and then I'll let you introduce Don. Are you good with that?
Okay, go for it.
Are you prepared?
I am prepared.
See, Mandy's always prepared. All right. I love this already. I love this. You know,
ring the bell.
Relationships. Woo! Jennifer is the boundary hunter, not the bounty hunter, the boundary hunter. She empowers women to take control of their life, stop overwhelm, and live confidently by implementing healthy boundaries. I want to hear directly from her, but what I love is I just had an opportunity to work with her because I did this speech, which you're going to hear about.
Okay.
Working with her was a pleasure. And I could see why she's a part of Don's team and the way she works. So I'm just gonna bring her on right now. Give a warm welcome to Miss Jennifer Jerald. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello.
Jennifer, hi. Welcome to the show. How exciting to have you.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
I hear you're a women's empowerment coach like myself.
Yes. Spent way too much of my life feeling unempowered, only to find out that the power was in me all along.
All along. It's always within. Everything happens from the inside out. You got it. You got it.
And you are such a, like, you embody, like, your energy, your love, your flexibility, the way you come across, and the way you draw boundaries in relationships. And it's not always easy. Like, no, people think you get, like, we have all this figured out. Like, we got a lot of it figured out, but we don't have it all figured out. That's what we want to share. And so, Jennifer, you live this every single day, and just working with you was a pleasure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And it's not always easy. Sometimes I have to remind myself about boundaries, and working with Don and his team around the world, literally some days around the clock, because we're dealing with so many countries that are involved in this project. I have to remind myself it's okay to sleep sometimes.
Self-care.
So my time boundary has had a little bit of a come to Jesus in the last week, and I'm doing much better now. So, but yeah, the boundaries is huge. I lived my life without boundaries, having been subject to multiple forms and multiple years of abuse and neglect. And so I didn't know what boundaries were because I'd never seen them. And when my health became a mental illness, my mental health became mental illness, I had to find a different way. And so when I started my program, the only way for me to graduate was to learn how to set and maintain healthy boundaries. Mm-hmm. And so therein lies the foundation of the beginnings of the Boundary Hunter.
Yeah. And I love that, because there's always, isn't it true? There's always somebody ready to cross your boundaries. Oh, and the moment you decide, it's like, there's somebody, there they come, right? They're coming in. Isn't it true?
It's so true. And the really cool part about boundaries, when you really understand them, is that some people think, oh, boundaries is this brick rigid wall. Nobody in, nobody out. That means no light, no nutrition, no water, no nothing. You're going to die in there. It's a lonely, dark place. But it's a false sense of protection. And then other people are like, well, boundaries are they're kind of mean. Oh, I don't want to like hurt people's feelings by saying no. And so they don't have any boundaries at all. So it's like this big open field that's so easily tread upon. And so really boundaries are a picket fence around our garden of serenity, to which we control the gate of entry. So when we have healthy boundaries,
love that.
When we have healthy boundaries, people may want to cross, but it is absolutely okay to say, not today, and keep that gate closed. You worked hard on that garden. Protect it, enjoy it, and only invite people in to stay who are going to help you maintain it.
That's right. Help you nurture it.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I know, I say, and help you nurture it, as well as feeling the energy and being nurtured themselves. And I relate completely to everything you've just said, because when I left 30 years of abuse 20 years ago, I ended up in a women's shelter, had to be taught what freedom meant. I had no concept of freedom. And that's where I learned all about self-boundaries. And it is so crucial to our own integral integrity. If we don't say yet, by saying yes to me, by saying no to somebody else, I'm saying yes to me. And I matter, I count, I'm worthy, I'm deserving, and so are you. Love this concept. Love this concept, Jennifer. I can feel it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I think that, and this, we could spend a whole hour on this, but maybe
Yes,
Jennifer will have you back at some point.
Yes.
Where sometimes I think people think that love is letting my boundaries down. Like when I let my boundaries down, somehow I'm being loving, and it's not that. Like it's the opposite of that.
Right? Yeah. Well, if we don't protect ourselves, right?
Yep.
There's only me in here. There's nobody else in here. And if I don't protect it, other people will just walk all through it. And that's one of the reasons I ended up in the state I was in before I ended up in the women's shelter, because I had no boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't end up in a women's shelter, but I did end up in a really hot car attempting to take my life.
Ay, ay, ay.
And I was supposed to die within like 20 minutes, according to science and the news.
Mm.
But 2.5 hours later, I was still here, and I was mad about it. Just saying. I was like, what? I should have been gone like 2 hours and 10 minutes ago, but I wasn't. I didn't go. And
so what were you thinking right in that moment when you realized that you weren't gone? What were you thinking?
Well, I had a decision to make.
Perfect.
I had to sit. I could either sit back and wait to die, or open the door and get out and put my feet on a path to living a new life. It was the hardest decision, one of the hardest decisions I've ever made. One, to get in the car and wait to die. That was a tough call.
Yes.
At that moment, I just wanted the pain to stop. I didn't want to feel like a monster. I didn't want to feel like I was falling apart and making everybody else's life miserable. And I think oftentimes when we get to that point where we're just like, no, I can have a plan B. I'll just check out. We forget that sometimes what really needs to die is our old belief system and not us. And so I chose to get out of the car and I put my feet on a new path, kind of like Dorothy from the Yellow Brick Road.
The Yellow Brick Road.
No idea where she was going, but along the way, she found friends, and she helped them get their heart, focus on their mind, and improve their courage. And that's what I've done. Maybe I'm not Dorothy, although I could sing a meme somewhere over the rainbow.
You're better than Dorothy.
I do wear combat boots instead of ruby red pumps.
And you got red on. You're looking great. So no, you're a blessing, Jennifer. You're a blessing.
Huge
really
blessing.
Huge blessing. You're here today.
And we're honored you're here.
Thank you. So if anybody out there is feeling like they're all alone, they're not. And if you feel like there's a plan B, there is, but it's not for you to check out. It's for you to check in to the best life you've ever had.
So what would you say to somebody who is kind of they're burned out, they've lost control of their emotions, they don't know which way is up or down, which way to go, they feel emotionally overwhelmed? What is the first thing you would say to somebody if they come to you and say, this is how I'm feeling?
First, we get them to stop.
Perfect.
STOP. Stop, think, observe, and prioritize.
Love it. Love it.
That's powerful.
Thank you.
Stop, think,
observe,
prioritize.
I'll go back to the hourglass.
Power of pure presence, right?
Just stop, observe. It's like you're observing life as it unfolds. You're just stopping.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting out of the noise of the mind that drives people into a corner because they think it's supposed to be a certain way, and they're dealing with stuff. You're dealing with stuff. We know that, but that's why Jennifer's here. That's why Mandy's here. That's why we're doing this, and that's going to lead into what you have planned this month, which is a kind of a perfect lead in here. So let's bring on our next guest because we're going to create some incredible dialogue. I want to invite you to share this because this will be a historic episode.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Back 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, this will have even greater. What's that quote I said? It was what seems insignificant becomes significant. So like this, we're streaming today. You clicked on here. You might be like, well, what's this mean? But when we look back on it, it's like, wow. Just like we look back.
And that's the beauty of having these saved videos, whatever it is we produce, because when we look back, it's then that we can connect the dots and we can still feel the inspiration and the motivation. And we've got all the examples to show people that people like Jennifer and our next guest have done it, been through it, risen from it. They've gotten off that hamster wheel, and look at where they are now. Just incredible.
And we have Diana from South Africa.
Hey,
Hello.
Diana.
Good to see you. And we're going to have to get Diana on this show. She's got an incredible book too. We'll talk about that
Yes, she
later.
does.
But let's just grab this here. Let's ring the bell on this one. This is stop, think, observe, prioritize. There's the bell. Thank you, RK.
Love
the bell
that.
score. So it's a hey, ring the bell. You might get hungry. Some of you might get hungry.
And that's really funny. And I didn't do it intentionally, but I circled it, and it's circled in the shape of a bell.
Oh,
my God.
No.
I'm like, oh wow, is he ringing the bell, right? Anyway, let's bring on our next amazing guest. Oh, don't go anywhere, Jennifer. Stay right where you are. That's awesome. This gentleman is coming from, I'm see if I can say it right, Rhino XR Studios, to introduce us to leading cutting edge technology called MegaVerus. And this is the great, or it contains the great positive of the metaverse. Now we're going to get into all of this. Donald launched his first company when he was 18 years old. He is a public speaker of the future. Let that sink in. A public speaker of the future. I've got goosebumps.
Yeah, it's powerful.
He launched an education and publishing company. He's got like $1 million platforms, and he's always searching for solutions. And I love that this is what MegaVerus is going to do. He search for solutions to help students to learn, engage, and grow. And in the process of searching for this, he met up with his close friend, Don Robert Carlyle, who introduced him to the potential of VR in education. Now, I'm not going to pretend I know the meanings of all these initials, but so all
You're doing great, man.
So you all created XR, VR, and AR platforms that are now helping students to learn faster and retain their knowledge longer. And this is what led in his search. This is what led to the MegaVerus solution. And I can't wait to learn all about it. Let's not waste any time and bring on this incredible human being that we have the great pleasure of being here with us. Drum roll, big round of applause for Mr. Don LePlume.
There he is. Hey, Don, welcome. Good to have you.
Bring that
Thank you so much.
Woo! Hi, Don.
That was an amazing introduction. Thank you so much, Mandy.
You're welcome. It's all true.
It's been an odyssey. Life is an odyssey.
It is.
And so and I'm grateful to be here. So thank you for having me.
We're grateful to have you.
So grateful.
I
So
do have
grateful.
to say, by the way, I did write down, I'm buying an hourglass after this.
Oh, okay. Well,
We'll
It's
get
in
Mr.
writing.
Liberty
It's right
Bell
next to
next.
me. I have to do it.
yeah. And then maybe we'll get you one of our specialty ones because this is
Yes.
a prototype.
Yes.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it's all under his logo, right? Which
Yeah, it's my other show. Yeah.
the other show.
Power
Lots
Tour
going on.
Presence.
Yes.
Every Sunday at 10 a.m. It's all about kind of emptying the mind and tapping into that deep part of ourselves, which I think we all crave, but we get lost, in the noise of the mind. That's what we were talking about earlier. But Don, I'm glad to have you here today. So this is like the first time we're meeting on this platform, and I've had to learn about you through Jennifer. She spoke very highly of you. But before we get into your story, we have a little fun here because you were in the green room listening to this unfold. You heard our introduction. You heard what Jennifer said. I just want to give you some time to kind of reflect back what you heard, and then we'll dive like headfirst into your story.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I heard a lot. The one thing that I can tell you without a doubt, and you both said it, and I've said it many times before in knowing Jennifer, she is a true blessing. Knowing what she's been through, first of all, she's very tough, right? But she is the most amazing person when it comes to getting things done
Mhm.
She is focused.
Yes.
I do want her sleeping more, all right, because that's
Yeah.
it is important. But I will tell you, it has been a true blessing, one, to know her, and two, to really be able to work with her. And I will tell you specifically, the Weekend of Positivity would not be anything like what it's about to be, which you'll all hear about, without Jennifer Jerald. So
What a beautiful testimonial. Bravo.
That's true.
Bravo, Jennifer.
Because all I knew was Jennifer's name. And thanks to Dr. Andrea Adams Miller, she's my publicist. She's an amazing individual. So she's the reason why this is happening. So I just want to give her a quick shout out, a red carpet experience. But connecting with Jennifer and working with Jennifer, it was like boom, boom, boom. And she had to have some patience with me, of course, because I was messaging her.
Oh, you found out the hard way, Jennifer.
Exactly.
You should have called me before you got involved with it.
Hey, you know what? We are dealing with a lot of different people, and I have become the ultimate hand holder, I will tell you. But it is frustrating as it might feel sometimes, the blessing of the friendship and the connection far outweighs that. So
absolutely.
I'm grateful that I had to hold your hand a little, Austin. You're wonderful.
And I feel the way about being connected, same way about being connected with Austin through Flashpoint. Exactly the same.
Beautiful. Let's get into Don's story. Man, do you want to help us kick this off?
Yeah, Don's story. So first of all, how did MegaVerus come to being? You didn't just sit there on your couch one night and go, oh, there's the word MegaVerus. Where did that word come from? Or maybe it did. Are you laughing because it did? I don't know. MegaVerus and the great positive of the MeteVerse. You have to tell us how it all started.
So it definitely was not launched on our couch. I can tell you that. The sofa was nowhere near me. It actually goes back. It actually goes back to 1994. You can't see it, I don't think, well, but maybe I'll have to send you a copy sometime. But this is a personal mission statement that I wrote in 1994.
Wow.
The same year I married my beautiful wife, Donna. We've had 5 children since then. We're about to, that's almost 29 years ago. And I know because we're heading towards our 29th anniversary.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you. When I wrote that, I knew I was to change education. That was my purpose. At the time, I was thinking more local. I was thinking in the US, right? And as I've gone, I've launched multiple companies over the years. This is not my first tech startup. Had some very big successes and had lots of things I learned that didn't work, but there were successes because I learned. Going back to your ritual there, very, very true. But as I went, it was back not that long ago, actually, I launched a publishing company because I figured out finally how I was going to change education. But it wasn't just going to be in the US, it was going to be global.
Wow.
And
that's so important.
That's my purpose. That's why I believe I am on this earth. And I mean, I battled cancer twice in my life. I beat it twice. I'm fine, by the way.
Congratulations.
But I'm here. Thank you. I'm here because I have a purpose that has to be fulfilled before I'm going anywhere. So this is going to get done. But I can tell you that when I wrote that, I didn't know how I was going to accomplish it. When I launched my publishing company, I now knew how I was going to do it. I didn't know all the aspects of it, but I knew this is the time. And as I'm working through putting everything together for that company, I started talking with Robert Carlyle, who I knew from my last tech startup because he was part of that company. And we were talking about virtual reality. And he got me to really dig deep into it. And when he did, and I started to really dig and I did my research, I found that, first of all, if you're going to learn, if you're in the present, if you're focused, right? If you're in full immersion, especially with virtual reality, you're going to learn much faster It's already proven. There's been studies been done. You learn faster, you retain much more of the information, and you hold on to it longer. Just like you were saying with the intro, Mandy, it's so true. And so I said, all right, I need to be able to use this as a tool. But I still didn't quite know how to do that. And so Robert and I worked, we were looking at all the different platforms that were out there for the metaverse and for virtual reality. And all of them had some aspect we could use, but for the most part, they were cartoonish, they were games. They were not really designed for what we were intending to do, what I put down on my mission. And so we said, all right, we need to create our own. And so we started building a platform. And when it came to the name, we knew it was going to be huge. So that's where Mega comes from. And we're looking for a name that would be unique, different. And I've always been, anybody who knows me, I'm one of the most positive people you'll ever meet. All right. I am not a pessimist by any stretch of the imagination. I'm very positive. So it had to be the great positive. And that's where that came from, because Verus is Latin for positive.
Oh, that's
I should have known that.
I love that. That is really great. Now we know what it means.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's great. I just want to grab a couple of shares here.
Oh my
Gregory
gosh.
Hall.
And you know, I just want to say something else as well. This idea has just come to me. Can you imagine what this is going to do for students learning new languages? And I know this from experience because I put all my kids through French immersion when we came from Britain to Canada. And now I've got a daughter that's fluent in 8 languages, a daughter that's fluent in 5, a daughter that's fluent in 3, because the focus and the immersion in it is what brings out the learning and the retention longer. So can you imagine what this MegaVerus is going to do for learning languages, for example? I've got goosebumps.
Well,
This is awesome.
I had goosebumps when I found out about this. I was like, whoa, wait a second. I hope my daughter.
Yeah. It's like I know what to learn Japanese.
Right now. I was like, this changes everything.
You know what? It's interesting that we're all having different thoughts, because the thing that I thought about, where I think this could be incredibly powerful, is for elderly, where, you know, they start to get dementia or, you know what I mean? But remember, like, this stimulates the brain.
Yes.
I thought about that. I mean,
ring the bell. Yes.
Ring the bell. We actually have a speaker coming to Weekend of Positivity who's actually going to talk about that very thing.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing. Wow, that's awesome.
Talk about synchronization again, Austin.
Incredible,
awesome.
incredible. Now, I want to hit a couple of things. I want to give people a little more context, because when I first heard this, I was confused. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I have an understanding, but I'm like, wait, how does this fit in? And how does this all? So I want to give Don the opportunity to just speak to the novice out there. It's like, what is this? What? What? Like what? Let's give them some context. And then I want to, and then we still want to learn a little bit more about Don's story, you know, and also how this is all going to fit, and the opportunity for you, the listener, right? Because that's really what this is about.
Right. Yeah.
So Don, how does this, you got MeteVerse over here, you got MegaVerus, you got XR. Like, how does all this kind of play together?
Yes.
So it's really interesting. So XR stands for extended reality, and that's really that is the type of creation that we do to build what we're doing. All right, so that's a design studio, Rhino XR Studios. That's what we are.
Okay.
The metaverse is really the tool that we use to reach people. I want you to think about the internet. The metaverse is truly, it's Web 3.0. It is the next iteration of the internet. And it's interesting because most people think the internet started maybe late 80s or 90s or sometime around then. The internet actually started in 1969. And it took 27 years before 1% of the world was actually using the internet. 26 years later, 68% of the entire world's population is on the internet using it. And it was as late as 2005 when people were still saying, you started in the newspaper, this internet thing is a fad. 2005, that was 17 years ago. That was not that long ago, but look, it's done.
Phenomenal.
is the next iteration of the internet. This is where the internet's going. And it's so
Wow.
important because when you think of the internet right now, most people think, hey, I go onto a computer, I can go look stuff up, I can do work, I can do some different things, but it's me doing it. If I'm going to be connecting with somebody else, I'm sending a message, or maybe I'm on a screen, but I'm not really there with them. We're just sort of having it's like a glorified call, right?
Right.
And nothing wrong with that, but that's where it is. The metaverse is about to change everything. Now, the
Yeah.
metaverse, by the way, started 28 years ago. It is now at just under 1% of the world's population is involved in the metaverse.
Wow.
We are at that point, just like the internet was, where it's about to go crazy. And you're now seeing it because people are seeing stuff about the metaverse, goggles and everything else all over the place.
Yes.
That was a huge toy last year, if I want to call it a toy, headsets,
Yeah.
right? For Christmas last year.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, so much is going there. People are seeing it. They don't really know what it is. They're thinking, oh, it's some gaming platform. It's something like that. And that's because that's really how it's been used for the most part. But what we've done with MegaVerus is we've created a family-friendly metaverse platform that is built for business and education. And that is going to change how people look at this.
Yeah.
Because it's actually, we're bridging real world business and education and the metaverse. We're putting these two together and we're going to change the world with it.
Yes, and I think like the way, like it's way beyond what I'm going to say, but at least it gives people a kind of a visual. It's almost like the metaverse is like the open field, and you're building this state-of-the-art school e-commerce platform in like on that open field. It's on a major highway where people can come and find it. Except it's way beyond that because it's limitless and it's not limited to the physical space. That's what's unique and different about it. But it's a good way to kind of wrap your mind around it. So let's get into because of time. You are hosting an event, the very first event. I don't know, is this the first event in like of this kind? Like I'd love with this educational seminar that's going to take place on the MegaVerus platform inside of the metaverse. So
there have been some different forays, whether it might be one speaker or maybe there's a course that's being taught in some metaverse platforms. Nothing like this. I haven't seen anything like this at all. And this is an event with 50 incredible speakers. And Austin, I'm proud to say that you were one of them. I am so excited.
Oh, congratulations.
You're presenting there.
No, thank you. And you know what I'm excited about? Here's what I like. I told Jennifer, make me a little bit taller and a little better looking. And so I had that request in. So, but I would love for you to explain how this is going to work. Now,
Sure.
From what I understand, well, I'll let you explain it because you have the speaker, which I've already recorded my talk. I sent it over to Jennifer. I would love if you could give people like a visual and the capacity and how they can get involved in this it's a historic event. It's the first of its kind on this scale. Talk about the scale and how somebody can get involved.
Certainly. So let me tell you how they're going to get into it first, because they want to, a lot of people think, well, I don't have goggles. You actually don't need goggles for this. What we did, we launched the beta version of MegaVerus on October 1st. All right. So brand new. Anybody who has tickets to this event get to come in the night before on the 20th. So they're going to get early access before the beta gets released to the rest of the world. But they're going to be able to come in from a desktop PC.
Wow.
And that's powerful. Now, if they choose, they can do our stream, because we're going to stream this live as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if they only have access to a phone, they'll be able to get the stream. So they'll get all of this incredible content. But if they're ready to go for desktop VR, they'll get a link. They'll be able to download our software, put it onto their computer, and they'll be able to go into the space walk around. And here's the beautiful thing, you know, this is with people. This is about socialization. This is bringing people back together.
Wow.
Right. So when people come in, they're going to come in together, a ton of people. We don't know how many people are going to be there. All right. Our target is 1 million people.
Wow.
What's the capacity on the, I know Jennifer mentioned the capacity on the VR. Wow. On the VR space versus the total capacity.
So total capacity, I mean, on the stream is virtually unlimited. I mean, it's just a matter of how many we can, you know, how many people want to be there. On the VR side, we do have a limitation on there. And but literally in our VR space, in our MeteVerse and MegaVerus, in our MegaVerus platform, we can hold as many as 5 million people in there at one time.
Wait, with the VR glasses?
5 million?
VR glasses or
5 million people?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. You know what? I want to give Jennifer a moment to chime in here, literally, because she's been quiet. But Jennifer, please.
Wow.
Well, I have to say, because this is like, I was like, wait, I'm going to be 10 feet tall? Yes! Because I'm actually one of the speakers too. But it's so exciting. And I'm a musical keynote, so you'll get to hear some of my music as well. But this is
nice.
This is so exciting because I am such an anti-gamer. So when I first came across this platform, I was introduced by my dear friend Beverly Zymet. She's part of our team. She's also one of the speakers. She'll be talking about the power of the metaverse. You guys, I have had firsthand experience with all of the speakers. So when I tell you this event is going to pop, I am not kidding. And I am so glad it's an extended reality because y'all gonna need some tissue. I'm just saying.
Wow. Yeah.
Mind blowing.
It's exciting.
And when you hear these stories, just like I said in my book, Dare to Heal. You can search the internet and you can find success stories everywhere. And you might think that they're not for you. But the reality is, friends, yours just hasn't been written yet. So if you want to know where to start, the Weekend of Positivity is a place to be.
Absolutely.
It's on demand. It's there for you when you're ready. Anybody that holds a ticket gets on-demand replay for 12 full months.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
When is this happening and how can people get involved?
Yes, Austin is rolling the link here at the bottom of the
there it is. Okay.
And it's from September 30th to October 2nd. We're going to go live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, September 30th. The beauty of virtual reality is we can address the whole world.
Wow.
Yeah.
All at the same time. So Don, I'll let you talk into that, but I will tell you, I personally have never been more excited about a summit. I've been to a lot of them. I've been a part of a lot of them, but I've never seen or experienced anything like this. And for me to see people come to life on the stage inside of the metaverse, and
I want to do that. I want to do that.
Yes, come on in, sis, because you.
Let me just say, let me jump in.
I'm a speaker too, and I want to.
We're all excited. For our listener, you can also just Google Weekend of Positivity Rhino XR. It'll come up. It populates pretty high up on the SEO charts if you can't get to the link. I want to do this. Or if you're listening on Apple TV, you're like, how do I find out? Just type in Weekend of Positivity Rhino XR. You can see it next to Don's name. But I want to hit this because I mentioned this. What about the person who says the metaverse is bad? It's no good. Like it's.
So the naysayers. What do we tell the naysayers?
What do you say to somebody who's like, that's like, that's not going to be good. The metaverse is evil. It's no good. We stay away from that. Like, what do you say to that person?
Well, there are going to be a lot of things in the metaverse. So the metaverse is all one. Let me state that. However, how you access the metaverse is through a platform. And there are many platforms out there to access it, and they're all different. There are some that I can tell you I would never utilize. All right. I wouldn't want my family utilizing. But just like in real life, just like in a city, there's going to be sections of a city that you wouldn't necessarily travel to.
Right.
And there's going to be sections that's where you want to be. What we're building, the great positive MegaVerus, this is, I said it right at the beginning, this is a family-friendly platform. All right. And it's designed because we want to have not just children learning, but we want to be able to have children there. We want parents to be there with their children.
Yes.
We want to have this be a social experience, but we want this to really be impactful and positive. So what we're building is a platform that will, while it does access the metaverse, it's a safe place. It's always sunny. It's always beautiful. You know, yes, we have some clouds in the sky as it's gently rolling by, but I'll tell you what, they're nice, white, beautiful, puffy clouds. All right. And the sun always shines in MegaVerus. It really is. It's just like being in the Caribbean. I mean, it's gorgeous.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Caribbean.
Yeah. And I think just like any other tool, like when the internet came out, it's like there's websites that are not good. There's websites that are great. They're highly educational. This is that. It just augments that. And I think we just need to be responsible, and we need to be plugging into things like MegaVerus and be diligent.
That's right.
We literally built this to be the light that's going to be there. You know, because just like you're saying with the web, there's some great sites, very helpful sites, and others that are not. And we want people to be safe. So if we don't build this, then all you're going to have is some of the other stuff out there.
That's true, because people are going to go to it anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to point out what Jennifer said here, because I think this is phenomenal. And this I get this straight.
Yeah.
So for everybody who buys a ticket, you're saying that money is going to go to somebody who can't buy a ticket. Is that right?
Well, what's going to happen is we're going to have. Oh, I'm sorry, Jennifer, go for it.
No, it's okay. For everybody who purchases a ticket, if there is a need for somebody who cannot come, we will provide a ticket and no additional cost to them. So your purchase helps pay for somebody else to be able to attend, so they too can begin rewriting their own story.
Paying it forward already. That is so beautiful. Ring that bell. That is just beautiful. How great
we have 7 minutes left. Mandy, I just want to give you a chance to share anything that's coming through, and
I'm just absolutely blown away by the whole thing, and I just keep looking at MegaVerus, huge positive, and this theme of safe, sunny goodness, opportunity to learn and grow and retain information, and parents can do it with their children, and this opportunity for somebody that perhaps can't afford the ticket or whatever, for each of us that buy a ticket, you're paying it forward. This is beyond cutting edge technology. This is like something from 100 years into the future, and you've had the power of mind to let your creativity take flight. You've run with it like Edison did, and you've talked about so many years from 1994, when it was your mission statement, Don, to change the way education happened, and the years that have gone by, and all the various platforms that you've utilized, and the companies you've started to bring Rhino XR and MegaVerus to the world. And just like Edison, it didn't just happen overnight, but you've persisted because you're fully focused on fully immersing your purpose into the world. And I think that is so key. If you're going to do something towards your own creativity and find your own purpose and bring it to the world, you've got to fully immerse yourself in it and never quit and never give up. And that's what you've done. And here we are now. And I wish I could hug you guys. I really do. This is incredible, incredible. And to be on here right now with this happening and this weekend coming up, and you're saying it's the first of its kind on the world, it is. and we can talk privately, but this weekend I'm also doing something that's a first of its kind in the world. There's 2 things happening in my community on the 17th. It's incredible once we run with the purpose and the mission, and we stick to it, and we immerse ourselves, and we give other people the opportunity to immerse themselves.
Yeah.
Kudos, bravo. I'm just so excited and grateful.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? Because we're having an event the next weekend called Flashpoint Live 4.0.
Yes.
It's primarily an in-person event. We have virtual VIP tickets. So if anybody purchases a ticket, I just came up with this, Mandy. Mandy loves when I do this. If you get a ticket for this event, I will gift you a VIP ticket to my event, virtual VIP.
This is a first of its kind. He's never done a VIP virtual.
So
love you for that.
Love you for that. Purchase a ticket for Weekend of Positivity, which is a September 30th through October 2nd. I will gift you a VIP virtual ticket to my event the following weekend. That's going to be in person. So you're literally, you can watch it. You literally get to watch a live event unfold. And also we have ways to integrate you, not like MegaVerus, but through Zoom. We're using the traditional platforms. So how are we going to track this? Well, just let me know. If you purchased a ticket, I'm going to leave it up to you to reach out to me.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you the details on how you can get the free VIP ticket for Flashpoint Live 4.0. So there you go.
Look at all these first one-of-a-kind things happening right here. Bravo, Austin.
That's so generous. Thank you, Austin.
Yes.
People should know one more thing. We have to make this a little sweeter, and that made it incredibly sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But one other thing that not everybody knows about is, and it is on our site and on our flyers, is that when somebody purchases a ticket, they're entered into a drawing where we're giving away about $100,000 worth of virtual land over the course of that weekend.
Wow.
So they could end up winning one of those lots, because in MegaVerus, people actually purchase lots. They have a business built, a school built. We've got some incredible schools being built.
That's incredible.
Wow. And I gotta, can I share one really cool thing that's about to happen here?
Yeah, sure. We got 2 minutes, so we're gonna wrap up quick.
Okay. So with the way we built the technology that we're using here, I'm gonna use a simple example. Picture your favorite musical band. This is just one example.
Bon Jovi.
It could be a sports team, but let's say it's your Bon Jovi. Did you say?
I did.
All right. Well, would you love to go to see Bon Jovi on stage, right? Go there with, say, 5 or 10 of your friends, and you 5 or 10 are the only ones in the room with Bon Jovi as Bon Jovi singing, and you're up on stage right next to him.
What?
Yes, that's
Bring
how
it.
close you can get.
Bring
When we
it.
do events inside of MegaVerus, you can get that close. In a baseball game, you could be right behind the pitcher, being part of the action.
This is amazing. We gotta wrap up. We got a couple minutes. I just want to give final share. Don, that's an incredible opportunity. If you buy a ticket for the Weekend of Positivity, you'll get a free VIP virtual ticket to my event, but you got to let me know so I can get you in the loop. This has been an incredible show. I said it would be historic. We got 1 minute left. Just quickly go around each person. Mandy, final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Quick.
Just jump in. Take the leap of faith. Step in and get involved with this right now. Get a ticket for MegaVerus and get a ticket for Flashpoint 4.0 as well.
Jennifer, 20 seconds. Go.
Woo! No more sitting on the sidelines.
Woo, baby!
In your life, let your dreams take flight. Let your dreams take flight. Buy your ticket. Join us there. We'll see you then.
Don.
Help us to change the energy level of the world, to bring more positivity to the world. That's what this weekend's about. It's our inaugural weekend as we launch our beta. We'd love to have you there and really show you what the future of the internet really is going to be.
Get free, stay present,
move forward.
Thank you all.
Goodbye, everyone. Get your ticket.
Have a great weekend. Step in.